Can you go to jail for a joke? Humor is considered a universal aspect of human culture, but not all jokes are legally harmless. And in modern society, freedom of expression often intersects with criminal and civil law, raising the big question: can a joke land someone in jail? Today, I will talk you through the legal boundaries of jokes in various jurisdictions, including the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada, Australia, South Africa, India, Germany, Russia, and Nigeria. It explores laws on defamation, harassment, threats, hate speech, and public order offenses, considering the balance between freedom of expression and protection against harm. Legal principles governing jokes. At the core of this issue is the tension between the freedom of expression and public interest. Internationally recognized protections include Article 10, European Convention on Human Rights, ECHR, freedom of expression, limited by public safety, order, and morality. First Amendment. The U.S. Constitution protects speech but not incitement, threats, or obscenity. Jokes may become criminal if they constitute threats or incitement. For example, I'm going to harm someone. Defame or insult, causing reputational harm. Harass or intimidate, especially in workplaces or schools. Offend public morals or other. Blasphemy, hate speech, or grossly offensive material. The UK approach. In the UK, the law distinguishes between harmless humor and criminal jokes under several statutes. The Public Order Offences. Section 5 of the Public Order Offences, 1986, criminalizes threatening, abusive, or insulting words or behavior likely to cause harassment, alarm, or distress. Example, social media posts joking about terrorism have led to prosecution. Communications offenses. The Communications Act 2003, Section 127, criminalizes sending grossly offensive messages via electronic communication. See the case of Regina against Chapo 2013, in which a person was convicted for a tweet joking about an attack on the royal family because it was deemed grossly offensive. Defamation. While defamation is usually civil, repeated or severe cases could attract criminal liability, other common law criminal libel, though rarely used today. Practical insight. In the UK, a joke that targets individuals or groups in a threatening or offensive manner can result in prosecution and potential imprisonment, even if intended humorously. In the United States, the US has one of the strongest protections for speech under the First Amendment. However, limits exist. 1. True threats. A joke that constitutes a true threat, for example, an expression of intent to harm, is not protected. See the case of Virginia versus Black, 538 US 343 2003, where cross-burning with intent to intimidate is criminal even if symbolic. Hypothetical case, posting online, "I will shoot my teacher," to be treated as a criminal threat rather than humor. Harassment and stalking. Jokes that harass or intimidate can be criminal. See the case of United States against Eloise 2015. It's a social media post interpreted as threats led to prosecution, emphasizing the intent behind the message. Hate speech and obscenity. Unlike Europe, the US rarely criminalizes hate speech unless it incites imminent violence or falls into obscenity law. Practical insight. In the US, jokes can lead to jail only if they threaten, intimidate, or incite imminent violence. Mere offensiveness is usually protected. Canada balances freedom of expression with protection from harm. Criminal Code Section 264.1, criminal harassment includes jokes that cause fear for safety. Hate speech laws, sections 318 to 319, criminalize jokes inciting hatred against identifiable groups. Example, posting racially offensive jokes online can lead to criminal charges if it is likely to incite hatred. Australia. Criminal liability arises when a joke constitutes threats, harassment, or public nuisance. Telecommunications Act 1997. Sending offensive or menacing messages online is criminal. Case: individuals have been prosecuted for jokingly threatening public figures on social media. In South Africa, freedom of expression is protected under Section 16 of the Constitution, but limits also exist. 1. Jokes can constitute hate speech, defamation, or incitement to violence are criminal. As example, social media posts threatening specific communities can trigger prosecution under Protection from Harassment Act 2011. In India Penal Code sections 503, 507, and 506 criminalizes intimidation and threats. Section 664A of the IT Act, repealed 2015, previously allowed prosecution for offensive electronic content. Example, jokes threatening political figures or inciting communal disharmony can lead to arrest. Germany criminalizes jokes that incite hatred or glorify violence under the Criminal Code sections 130 and 185 that specifically states insult and incitement to hatred. Example, Holocaust denial, even if framed humorously, is illegal and punishable by imprisonment. In Russia, freedom of expression is constitutionally guaranteed but heavily restricted. Jokes that are considered extremist are insulting officials or inciting unrest may result in imprisonment. Example, social media posts mocking government actions have led to criminal charges. In Nigeria, Criminal Code and Cybercrime Acts criminalize jokes that threaten, defame, or incite violence. Sections 24 of the Cybercrime Act, sending offensive or menacing messages online, is punishable by fines or imprisonment. Example, jokes inciting communal or political violence can lead to arrest. Analysis of key themes. Intent matters. Across jurisdictions, whether the joke was intended to threaten or intimidate is crucial. Medium also matters. Jokes delivered online are increasingly subject to criminal scrutiny. Group protection versus individual rights. Many countries criminalize jokes targeting protected groups. Cultural and legal differences. In the US, offensive jokes are largely tolerated. In Germany, jokes with historical or political sensitivity can lead to imprisonment. Escalating enforcement. Social media has amplified scrutiny, making casual or poorly framed jokes potentially criminal. Policy considerations. Freedom of speech versus protection from harm. Democracies struggle to balance these competing values. Deterrence. Criminalizing dangerous or threatening jokes prevents potential violence. Public morality and order. Laws often aim to maintain social cohesion and protect vulnerable groups. Proportionality. Courts generally assess severity, intent, and consequences before imposing jail. Practical examples. UK, a Twitter joke threatening a public figure led to prosecution and suspended jail term. Beg your pardon. US, an online threatening joke about a school led to FBI investigation, highlighting the difference between intent and perceived threat. Germany, Holocaust denial jokes resulted in imprisonment. Nigeria, social media jokes inciting communal tensions have led to arrests. Observation. Context, cultural sensitivities, and medium all influence whether a joke can trigger criminal liability. In conclusion thereof, while humor is widely valued, it is not legally immune. Across jurisdictions, individuals can be jailed for jokes if they constitute true threats, amount to harassment or intimidation, incite hatred, violence, or public disorder. Legal consequences vary. Civil remedies, fines, imprisonment, depending on jurisdiction, intent, and impact. The key lesson is that freedom of expression has limits, and jokes, especially in public or online spaces, must be measured against legal duties, social responsibilities, and the rights of others.